to inform the public about the nature of the threats facing humanity and to encourage them to actually get more involved, to take action, and to be aware of whether or not we're moving closer to or farther away from our own destruction.
Last year, the bulletin set the doomsday clock at 89 seconds to midnight, the closest to disaster it's ever been. So now the question is, how does this year compare to last year?
Thank you for joining us today. My name is Alexandra Bell, and I am the President and CEO of the Bulletin of the Atomic Scientists. It is the determination of the Bulletin's Science and Security Board that humanity has not made sufficient progress on the existential risks that endanger us all. We thus move the clock forward. The doomsday clock is a tool for communicating how close we are to destroying the world with technologies of our own making. The risks we face from nuclear weapons, climate change, and disruptive technologies are all growing. Every second counts, and we are running out of time. It is a hard truth, but this is our reality. It is now 85 seconds to midnight. This is the closest the world has ever been to midnight.
Shalom, shalom. I want to start by giving all praises, glory, and honor to the Lord Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakakadash. My name is Brother Napak. I am with the camp GMS from the Tampa branch. And I want to give double honor to elders and apostles of Great Millstone who teach and rule well. Peace and blessings to the whole full elect and the ones listening in. And I want to get into a quick lesson. Okay, and as you see it, it's a short clip. And this is the Bulletin of the Atomic Scientists, okay? And they just announced, all right, that the doomsday clock has now stricken 85 seconds until midnight, all right? And, as I'm watching this clip, in Salakia, I got this video from the brother GMS Babylon is Falling 144, okay? And, as I was watching this video, and the brother did a very, Yapa video and very edifying video. I recommend, brothers, and sisters who's watching to go on his channel and watch this video as well. But I'm going to just, add on to, the points that this brother was making, the beautiful points this brother was making, Now, as I was watching this video, I was, observing everything that was going on, and Esau, talking about their doom, all right, and you can see and hear in the tone of their voices the despair, all right, because they're not getting anywhere, all right, but closer into their end, and they're trying their hardest to stay, to steer away from their end, okay, but even their own, all right, calculations shows them that their end is coming close, and it's coming close very fast. Now, no one knows the end, all right, when the Lord will come back and destroy this place, all right, but Esau's trying to make his own calculations, all right, and give himself, a time limit, all right, or a certain time, or, to where he can fulfill his agenda, okay? But ultimately, one thing that is true is we are in the end times, all right? And the prophecies are being, manifested right from the scriptures, the end time prophecies, okay? So we're getting closer and closer into this time, and Esau even knows it himself, all right? And ultimately, it's nothing they can do about it. Now, I have the article here as well. It says, Doomsday Clock says apocalypse is closer than ever. All right. And then in the caption, it says the Bulletin of the Atomic Scientists announced that its symbolic doomsday clock has been moved to 85 seconds to midnight, marking the closest the metaphorical indicator of the global catastrophe has ever been to midnight. All right. And last year it was at 89 seconds. And this year, it's now at 85. Okay. It went down 4 seconds. All right. According to their calculations. Okay. Because ultimately the Lord, like I said, only the Lord knows, man. Only the Lord knows when this time come. All right. And they're just putting their calculations onto it. But the Lord's got the set date, time, second, minute, all right, hour that this place is going to, be destroyed. All right. And they're seeing it as well. They're seeing that this place is turning into an inevitable, turn to destruction. And she said that. She said the harsh, reality. The harsh reality, because the reality is the doom. All right. Is doom, is the end. All right. And, and she also said from their technology that they have, built and created, because they know that the things that they built is going to bring their end. All right, which the Lord put the spirit onto them to build these weapons of war, the nuclear missiles, okay? All these different, weapons to destroy themselves, okay? And they know and they see it themselves. Tension is arising. Everyone has nukes. All right? And they're just going to fight it out and destroy themselves, okay? And the Lord's going to, ultimately, it's going to be the Lord's kill count. And he's going to have millions and billions of of a kill count, all right? Because, Jake, Esau, Edom, heathens, all, Jake that ain't been trying to get right, y'all going to be a part of that nuclear fire, all right? But this article, I got it from End Time Headline. This is the Instagram, but he also has a website where he puts out a whole bunch of news articles, information at the bottom, all right, videos, and brothers can do, lessons on those. But just to get straight into it, this is Job 14 and verse 5. It says, seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. So the numbers of his months and his days are determined. All right. And the Lord knows, and it's with the Lord. The Lord knows everyone's, all right, day. All right. The length of their lives. All right. He knows from the beginning to the end. And the Lord sees that, the end of Esau, Edom. He knows when his time is up, when his time has come. And he has appointed him, all right, bounds that he cannot pass. So once that time is up, that time is up. You can't go a second, after, a minute after, okay? A minute before. The Lord's going to destroy you at that certain time and moment that he, has destined for you to be destroyed in, okay? And that's what the Lord decided. And ultimately, that's for all our lives, But some men are not going to, the elect, all right? Most of the elect are not going to taste of death, okay? All right? So the elect, most of the elect have everlasting life, all right? But the rest of you, you devils, all right, your days are determined. Your time is determined. All right. And your time is coming very soon. And you see it yourself. Okay. There's one thing, we see it because, we got scriptures. We see it. We see what's going on. We're supposed to know. But it's another thing when you see it yourself. And these devils are getting anxious. Okay. Because they know that. And that's why they want to put a calculation on the time, all right, because they know they need to get whatever they want to do in their agenda to be completed, all right, to have full control of the world before this happens. But ultimately, that's not going to happen. They're not going to take that full control, all right? The Lord's going to destroy them, all right, within their own agenda, all right? They're only bringing their own agenda the farther they continue out their agenda. Are selected. They're only bringing their own destruction the farther they continue out their agenda. All right. And we see it, being watchmen, we all see it. We all know these devils are bringing their own destruction. Okay. So let's go ahead and, I want to get, fade away. I think that's right here. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. This is Job chapter 20 and verse 5 in the NLT. It says, "The triumph of the wicked has been short-lived, and the joy of the godless have been only temporary." Okay, so their joy and their rulership and their, them reigning in this kingdom, it's only temporary. It's only going to be temporary. It's short-lived. Okay, the Lord's going to come back. All right, but before he comes back, he's going to bring international, tension and wars and internal wars to Babylon, America. Okay, it's prophesied in the scriptures. So that's why you see ICE, killing its, everyone, and even their own citizens, killing their own citizens, man. Trump got ICE out there just killing their own people. He's raging war upon his own people. And then with that, outside of America, he's raging war with all the other countries. All right, and the Lord got this guy in there to do that. Okay, Trump is only following the script, all right, that the Lord has put out for him to do. That's why he's doing all these things, man. And y'all think it's of his own accord? No, it's prophecy. It's time for prophecy to be fulfilled, and the Lord is using him to fulfill it. Okay, it says, "Though the pride of the godless reaches to the heavens, and their heads touch the clouds." All right, so though the pride of the godless, Esau, Edom, it reaches to the heavens. The scripture says, "The pride of thyself had deceived the pride of their heart have deceived themselves." All right, with the pride of their heart, they have deceived themselves because they're so prideful. They think that they can. They think they can take over the world and be as God himself, all right, and destroy his people. But that's not what's going to happen. All right, they actually think they have a chance at fulfilling their agenda, okay? But this is what the scripture says. It says, "Yet they will vanish forever, thrown away like their own dung. Those who knew them will ask, where are they?" So they're going to vanish. All right, the Lord's going to wipe them off the face of the planet. Babylon, America is going to be wiped off the face of the planet with their own nuclear missiles. All right, that they have created, but all these other nations now have, and they're going to send them over here at Babylon's way because Babylon is burning all their bridges with all these different countries. No one's going to be able to save them. No one's going to save them. All right, it says, "Those who knew them will ask, where are they?" Okay, those who knew them are going to ask, where are they? They just vanished. They're gone, never to be heard of again, just as Rome, okay, and all the other kingdoms they had before them. All right? They're going to be in the history books. Okay? They're going to be a tale told in the history books, but they're going to be forgotten. All right? No one actually remembers the faces, all right, completely to the detail of, the people, the rulers of Rome. All right? The rulers of Greek. All right? The Greek rulers. All right? Persian. No one remembers the details of their faces. And the same thing with here in Babylon. No one's going to remember the detail of their faces. Every detail of America, Babylon. Okay, they're going to know the important events, of course. But anything else is going to vanish away. All right? It says, "They will fade like a dream and not be found. They will vanish like a vision in the night. Those who once saw them will see them no more. Their families will never see them again." So the ones that once, saw these devils, all right, you will no longer be seen again. You will no longer see them again. All right? Like the scripture says, they will vanish away like a vision. Okay? And, or a dream. And when you have a dream, a lot of times right when you wake up, you completely forget of that dream. You know, as soon as you wake up, that dream is already forgotten. Okay? Some dreams you may remember, but most dreams you don't. And that's how Esau is going to vanish in his kingdom. All right? Like a dream. Okay? America, Babylon is no longer going to be remembered, all right, for all this triumphing. All right? It's going to be remembered for the destruction of their wickedness. All right? The destruction that came because of their wickedness. Okay? It says their children will beg from the poor, for they must give back their stolen riches. Though they are young, their bones will lie in the dust. They enjoyed the sweet taste of wickedness, letting it melt under their tongues. So even their children will beg from the poor. All right? You know, right now their children don't have to worry about anything. Okay? But in the times we're coming to, their children are going to be poorer than the poor. All right? And that poor is going to be Israelites. You know, we originally were the poor. And they're going to beg from us. But in the times we're coming to, the Lord's going to put us on a higher level. We're going to be rich. Okay? We're going to be, you know, we're going to have that. We're going to gain that inheritance that the Lord has long awaited for us. Okay? And the KJV says, his children shall seek to please the poor, and his hands shall restore their goods. All right? So his children are going to seek to please the poor. Okay? They're going to seek to please Israel, to please, all right, Jake. All right? The kingdom's going to be translated from these devils into, you know, the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, because that's who truly supposed to rule. Okay? It says, they savored it, holding it long in their mouth. Or, let me bring back verse 12. They enjoyed the sweet taste of wickedness, letting it melt under their tongues. They savored it, holding it long in their mouths. They enjoyed their wickedness. They enjoyed being wicked and bringing all this, you know, wickedness into the world. Okay? They savored it under their sweet, you know, they savored it, holding it, you know, long in their mouths. All right? Letting it melt under their tongue. Okay? This is something that, you know, Esau got a sensation from, was being wicked. It brought them excitement. It brought them joy. All right? That's how they got their kingdom, is through wickedness. All right? It says, but suddenly the food in their bellies turned sour, a poisonous venom in their stomach. They will vomit the wealth they swallowed. Yahweh won't let them keep it down. All right? So they're going to vomit all the wealth that they swallowed. All right? And taken. Okay? That food that they filled their bellies with is going to turn sour. It's going to be poisonous. Venom in their stomach. All right? And they're going to have to vomit it all up. All right? Everything is going to be given up. Okay? It says they will suck the poison of cobras. The viper will kill them. They will never again enjoy streams of olive oil or rivers of milk and honey. They will give back everything they work for. Their wealth will bring them no joy. So, you know, ultimately, you know, they're gonna be, you know, they're gonna lose everything they have, all the resources, all the riches, all right, everything that they gotten through wickedness, all right, is gonna be taken away righteously. All right, it says, for they oppressed the poor and left them destitute. They foreclosed on their homes. They were always greedy and never satisfied. Nothing remains of all the things they dreamed about. All right. So these are the things they have done unto Israel. They have done, all right, unto the Lord's people. They oppressed the poor. All right. Left them destitute. Took their homes. Okay. Scripture says, like I said, it says they were always greedy and never satisfied. Nothing remains of all the things they dream about. All right, so nothing remains, man. The Lord is going. Their prosperity will not last. All right, they're going to be oppressed. They're going into the time of doom. All right, and let's get that real quick. All right, the day of doom is coming, man. All right, this is Second Ezra, chapter 7. I believe it's, yep. verse 43 says, "But the day of doom shall be the end of this time and the beginning of immortality to come, wherein corruption is past." And the day of doom is, the end of their time, the end of their rulership. All right. And the beginning of immortality to come. And that's the immortality the Lord is going to reward his people with. All right. To be immortal, to have an everlasting kingdom, everlasting happiness. All right. No more sorrow. Okay. And we're in correction. Corruption is past. All right. So the corrupt and his corruption is past. All right. It's over with. It says intemperance is added in, infidelity is cut off. Righteousness is grown, and truth is sprung up. Then shall no man be able to save him that is destroyed, nor oppress him that has gotten the victory. All right, so the time of wickedness and corruption is coming into the end. And that's why we rejoice. All right, seeing that, even their calculations is showing that their doom is coming. All right, that their end is coming. We rejoice at it, bro, because we know that righteousness is coming, is going to abound, and the truth is being sprung up, and wickedness and faithlessness, all right, and corruption is over with. All right, it says, "Then shall no man be able to save him that is destroyed, nor oppress him that hath gotten the victory." So nobody ain't gonna be able to save him that have, that is destroyed, man, because the Lord is going to be the one destroying you. No oppress him that has gotten the victory, because the Lord is going to be the one that give his people the victory. Okay, so Lord willing, this lesson was edifying to the hopeful elect and the ones listening in. You just want to get into a quick lesson on that. I just want to get into a quick lesson on that. All through the Spirit, to add to, the points the brother made in his video. Like I said, I do recommend Joachim do watch that video as well, because he puts, the whole clip in there. And I just got, bits of the clip, just for edification and time's sake. Okay. And so, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to the Lord Yahweh Bahashem, Yahushai Bahashem Kakadash. Once again, the honor to elders and apostles, Grand Millstone, who treat you more well. Shalom, Maki.